Folks, I got to go to my next guest who understands this. He spent years in the NFL as an assistant coach and a head coach. He actually weighed in on this. We were supposed to talk to him about National Signing Day, him being the head coach at Grambling. We're going to talk about that as well. But he weighed in with what Brian Flores said by saying he was asked and money was put on the table to throw games in Cleveland. And then what happened? He had a massive losing record with Cleveland, and then he gets fired, and they say, oh, you can't coach. That's how this system works, folks. Welcome to Roland Martin Unfiltered. Hue Jackson, head coach at Grambling State. Coach, glad to see you.
Thank you, Roland. Good to see you, too.
So I'm sure, the NFL was thinking, man, all the attention's going to be on Tom Brady retiring. Brian Flores knocked that off the sports page.
No, he did, and deservingly so. Brian is very brave and coming forward and telling his story. I tried to do this, Roland, a while back, and nobody wanted to hear it. And I'm sure it's because of the record, because people, when you're 1-31, people look at you or whatever the overall record is and say, well, this guy just can't coach. So that wasn't the case. I understand that more now. I'm just glad that Brian has come out, and I stand behind him 100% and what he's dealing with.
But one of the folks who works with you put this tweet out saying, hey, Brian, give us a call. We have evidence if you need it when it came to being asked to throw games. You responded. Come on, guys, show the tweet, please. You responded to that by saying, absolutely, that is what happened, where you were asked, hey, we'll kick some more money to you on the side if you lose games.
No, so I think it's important that we really understand what this is. That wasn't meant that way. It wasn't, we're going to kick more money to you if you lose games, or boy, Hugo loses games. They built a team that could not win. That is different. So you build a team that can't win, you put a minority coach out in front of it, and all of a sudden you have a structured plan, a 4-year plan that you put in place that had no wins in the first 2 years, but it had wins in years 3 and year 4. But you do pay based on percentages of the things that you had in the plan: aggregate rankings, being the youngest team, having the most draft picks, quarterback playing above a certain percentage. Those things to a coach doesn't say that we're trying to win. And I really didn't understand it because I've never seen a bonus structure like that. And I didn't get this bonus structure until about a month and a half that I was on the job. And that wasn't even completed until being 6 months or 7 months on the job. So I really still didn't get what it really was all about until I had my team and we started playing games. And I could see my team wasn't good enough. I just came from Cincinnati being Pro Football Writers Coach of the Year. I understand what good football is. I competed in the same division, and we just didn't have enough talent. So people got to understand the other side of tanking. You can build a team that cannot win. And the reason why we say we have all the evidence, I've taken this to the National Football League. I've had this conversation with Roger Goodell. I went through arbitration with the National Football League. So I've done all these things in order to try to put this out because I didn't want this to happen. I feel just like Brian, I did not want this to happen to another coach in the National Football League. And I said that to them being Roger Goodell and the executive committee there. I did not want another man to go through what I went through. And I went through it alone. And I know what that felt like. So when I see Brian Flores in this situation, I'm not going to let him go through this by himself.
And he was and I'm sure the text messages and the phone calls have been flying around the last 24, 48 hours. It's a whole bunch of brothers who never got to be head coaches making $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 million. Look, David Culley is going to get paid out by the Houston Texans. So he coached for 1 year. He's going to walk away with $20, $22 million. Look, he's set for life. And so a lot of these brothers, they could never say anything because they're making far less than that. They're thinking, hey, I got to provide for my family. And so when a Brian Flores comes out, 40 years old, this is not a 70-year-old guy now suing. He is in his prime. That first head coaching job, he is literally saying, I am doing this for the brothers who were in front of me and for the brothers who are coming behind me. Somebody has got to force this thing to change.
Absolutely. And like I said, I stand with him on that. That's where I was. That's the conversations I've had with the National Football League. I wanted to be that guy because I have been to that mountaintop twice. I've seen what this is. I've experienced all sides of this, and there's no way I wanted this to happen. I've gone on record saying I didn't want this to happen to Brian because I saw the direction this was going in. You know, the National Football League is somewhat a copycat league. So what was happening in Cleveland, I knew it could show up someplace else, and it just happened to be in Miami.
Okay, to my panelists, I need y'all to ask a quick question of Coach Jackson because I have to get to talking about Grambling, today National Signing Day, and this historic marketing deal that Grambling is doing when it comes to their players and their likeness. First question goes to you, Monique.
I don't have a question. Congrats, Coach Jackson. Thank you for your work.
Thank you so much.
Robert.
So, Coach Jackson, you mentioned not putting together rosters not good enough to win. I think you had Cody Kessler and Deshaun Kaiser at quarterback, and I think Terrell Pryor might be the best quarterback on that team, quite frankly.
No, Terrell Pryor played receiver, caught
he played receiver.
yards.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
he was probably the best quarterback.
Well, no, remember, he was a college quarterback, came in as a quarterback, and he switched to wide receiver.
Yeah, that's my point. He was probably the best one on the roster. What would you tell young coaches when it comes to taking that first head coaching position, when it comes to going into some of these rosters that are basically destined to fail before they even get there?
I think it's so important that you understand your contract. I think you got to really dive down into it to make sure who's making the decisions, understand every word that's in it, because that's really going to tell you what role you have on the football team in creating the team. And then you have to understand what the GM's role is. Are you really going to be collaborative? And understand what the upper management's decisions are. Are we really trying to win? What are we trying to really do here? And I'll go on record as saying there's nowhere in the National Football League does it talk about in your contract losing. Nobody gets paid for losing, and nobody takes a job to lose. We take these jobs to win and increase our value. So you better make sure that everything is right for you to have that opportunity.
Scott?
Yeah, Coach, one question I have. Brian Flores was a successful head coach at Miami. He had two winning seasons, and then he was fired. That certainly helps his case, or does it hurt his case?
No, I think it helps his case. I think Brian Flores is one of the bright, young minority coaches in all of pro football, and it's a shame that he's having to deal with this at this point in time. He should be celebrating, coming very close to making the playoffs and getting ready to get his team better. And now he's out on the out and having to deal with all these things that he's dealt with over there.
Back to our Roland Martin unfiltered video in just one moment.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Like, wow, Roland was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share
who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared. You dig?